Hey, folks, it's Wednesday, the 19th, Juneteenth, and also my little brother Patrick's would have been 67th birthday. Let me say cheers. I want to talk about my brother just a little bit today. Hope you all don't mind. But I do want to share, partially in sharing with the world, it's like an update to my family. I mean, even though we talk, but I can really, you know, tell what's going on when I speak. So yesterday was a tough day, unfortunately. So some of you folks who watched me yesterday remember that I was um, saying that I needed to get a new mouse because it keeps shorting out or something, where it's like the computer recognizes it and then it doesn't recognize it, and this will just happen, click, 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 because it's seemingly a short in the wire. Well, I went to go and get in the car yesterday to go get a new mouse. After spending $800 last week, the car wouldn't start again. Click. So anyway, I called my friend Aaron, thinking all I need is a jump. The click was weird, and then there was a hazard light that came up on the dashboard. So anyway, in an hour, I'm having the car towed. See if they can, fix it. And I'll probably have to haggle with the place. I just spent $800, and the car doesn't, you know, you know. They're saying, well, I guess you probably need an alternator. Well, anyway, on top of that, this is also for my family mainly. I got this certified letter from the city regarding the sidewalks in front of my house and the houses on this street. And they sent us this thing where we have to fix the cracks in the sidewalks. And then I have two panels that have been pushed up because of the roots of the tree in my front yard. Since I moved here, this has happened. And the workers who were out here last week um, marking the spots and making the notes lied to us and said that we would have 30 days and that we would only have to caulk the cracks. But I get the letter and they're telling us that we this is the city sidewalk, but the homeowners are responsible for the sidewalks. We have to repair the cracks and we have to replace whole panels. That's thousands of dollars that I don't have, nor my neighbors. Well, Raymond, my cousin, doesn't. We spent quite a bit of time outside yesterday in the afternoon talking about this. And then the other guy on the other side of me, Ray, who's Mexican, he's a contractor, so he has some money. But we all put our heads together on this, to see if we can work together and have this strip of us all done and and put our money together to get it done that way. I'm gonna be a broke dog for a while, y'all. So I guess this last haul was, thank goodness I got it in. I don't know what to expect today to pay today to get my car running again. And even if I try to haggle about, well, I just spent yada yada on you and the car don't start. Can you work with me? I'm gonna try that. Also, I'm calling the city. We agreed as a group last night to call the city and protest this to get more information because it's like we live on a half circle. There's no foot traffic on these. What's the big deal? And Omaha City streets are hellaciously bad with potholes constantly being repaired and not being done well. Anyway, that's an update for my family and for those of you who are still with me. I needed to tell them. This next part is for whoever besides my family. It's also for me. So my little brother Patrick, he and I were really close, and I knew that his health was bad, but I did not expect him to die before me. I want to share with you. Here he is. or this is his carcass. These are his bones. This is, this is not morbid. Some people probably might find this a bit morbid. This is real. Patrick M. Higgins, cremation date July 19, 2021. Just days after my birthday last year, we did this. My brother was real, and he was a real little brother because he was a pain in the ass. But our relationship was really very good and very honest, and he did not understand, even up to his death. He really did not understand my taste in music. We vibe on jazz, obviously. That's what we grew up on. But I can remember one day in particular, I was maybe 18 or 19, and we were still living at home. And I'm in my room, and his room is right next to mine. And I'm playing Bo Hansen, Magician's Hat, just loving it. And I'll never forget this. He just crowed, "What the fuck is that Frodo bullshit you playing in there?" I always get a laugh out of it, But so mortality is on my mind daily, for many reasons. I'll be 69 and we're losing people all the time. Willie Mays just died. James Chance of the Contortions, James White and the Blacks just died. I owned a Contortions record when the first wave of No New York records came out. I bought them all. I didn't keep any of them, but I had them. I did. And I had his. Didn't like it, but I got it. I got what he's doing and the realness of it, the skronk, and how he's literally trying to be his version of James Brown. May he rest in peace. So we'll be hearing more deaths. There are other deaths that we heard yesterday that people thought Noam Chomsky died, but he hasn't, thankfully. But at 95, it's just, and that's the thing. Because of age, it's an inevitability. We're all going to die. I'd like to live a long time. I would, for no particular reason except that I enjoy living. And we don't know what happens when we lose this avatar. When the spark of our life leaves the body, we don't know what happens. The spark, life goes on. But what does it do? Does it transmute? Does it transform? Does it go back into the word's not coming to me, but the quantum field of energy which never dies? Does it just dissipate back into that and re-emerges at another time in another form? Who knows? So I enjoy life. And I'll be honest, I would like to, if I had my druthers, I would like to die like my brother did. He was at home and he died in his sleep. We found him in his bed. I would like to not die in a crash or choke to death or some kind of stuff, I bet I'm not the only one who has those moments where you're just eating and doing something. Next thing you know, you choke on something, and it's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to die like that. So anyway, those are my thoughts. And also today is little Faye Fackler. That's Nick and Kat Fackler's baby, their first baby. This is her first birthday. It means a lot to me that Faye was born on my brother's birthday. Now, if it wasn't for the car having to go in the shop, that's what I was going to do today, is go over to their house and celebrate the baby's birthday. Oh, well. But when it comes to music, what I'd like to share is my brother loved jazz. He loved my dad. He loved everything about the whole. He got it. He was into it. And so my brother was always clean. He always dressed up. He was down with the ladies, you know. When he died, he had 3 girlfriends. His ex-wife was still involved. I don't know if she was just helping him financially, but you know, and he was in like old school. Always had a, you know, he kept his wad rolled up in his pocket. I love my brother. I miss him. So showing you his ashes, I thought that would be a good way to honor him. And please share any of your thoughts. You know, if you're dealing with loss or want to talk about it, you can write me a story in the comments. I don't mind. I don't. And I do read them. I do. So, musically, Miles Davis and Charlie Parker were 2 of the giants in his life. And so, Kind of Blue, this is my copy. I bought this. Let's see, this is probably an 80s reissue. Yeah, I probably waited until the 80s to get my own copy of Kind of Blue because I was inoculated with this album as a child. It was inescapable, you know, that not only my dad, but my grandmother, my uncles, and other people in our circle, Miles Davis was like a king, and we heard his music a lot. But when my brother passed away, of course, I had to gather his belongings and settle things. And one of the, you know, of course, I got his records and his big porn collection, which I destroyed because I don't like it. He was particularly into butts, big black women's butts. He had an insane collection. I got rid of that. But he also had this, and I don't think this was my dad's. I think my brother Patrick acquired this somehow. This is an original 6-eye mono Kind of Blue. Miles Davis. It's as you see, it's played. It's hard to find one of these in really good shape. Well, I think maybe you can, but this to me is an heirloom that will be proud to pass on to whoever's left after I go. It's an original mono 6-eye Kind of Blue. I looked it up a while back, you know, because there's different versions and this and that, but this is it. This is an original mono Miles Davis Kind of Blue. As a memento of my brother, I cherish it, to be honest with you. So I want to share it with you. I don't play it. I don't have to. I have several versions of it on CD, including a gold version at the right speed because this was mastered. It's a long story, okay? This came out with the other records when I pulled the Kind of Blues to show Miles Davis, Someday My Prince Will Come. I'm going to play this today. I forget what this sounds like. And I also forget which version I have. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. Another 6-eye, and look at the shape of that. This wasn't my brother's. I don't remember what. I must have bought this a long time ago. I don't even remember buying it. But son of a gun. Here's another 6-eye. Is this mono? Shit, this is another mono. Oh no, this is stereo. Okay, which is fine. I like stereo, but you know the monos, as collectors, nerdy collectors, mono. It's original mono. So, I'm glad that my grief regarding my brother's death is complete. I can talk to you about this without being sad. But with that in mind, I will say that I'm aware that actually I am depressed. You know, I'm very functional and not sad. And so that's why I don't focus on it, and it's not a big deal. I'm really used to it. But when things like what's going on with me with the car and stuff, you know, it lets you know, it lets me know where I'm at. I was looking at some pictures of some friends of mine, Nick and Fackler and Dereck Presnell, and they're all partying and dancing the other night. And I just looked at it and thought to myself, I love these people, but I'm not a part of that. I'm not a part of their world. I'm gonna put it real straight. As much as I've tried to blend in and assimilate, I am not a part of that white world. I'm not. Much as I love the music and love the people, I don't feel that. I don't feel like I want to go over there and just party and dance and be silly. I don't feel it. That lets me know about the depression. Could I let go and do it and go over there and get into it? Probably. But you hear what I'm saying. I'm an outsider. And that's just okay. It's okay. So a whole lot of information maybe you didn't want. Maybe you want to hear a whole lot about records, and you're not hearing a lot about records today. It's my brother's birthday. It's Juneteenth. There's no mail today. Juneteenth doesn't have any meaning to me personally. And if there's black people watching who get upset about that, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in the larger picture, the fact that my race, we have never been accepted into this society. These little caveats, making Juneteenth a federal holiday and shit like that, is meaningless to me. We are still the most hated, and it's insane and it's ridiculous, and it has a lot to do, and we're just going to keep ripping with the madness that we're dealing with, the rich people who are who run everything, control everything. And it's like, for example, why Donald Trump is still running amok and free and might become the president again. My brother Patrick was focused on that. He thought they were going to get him before he died. And I said, "Oh, Pat, I don't think so." And it's as bad as I thought when he got elected. It's not worse. It's as bad as I thought it would be when he's elected. And it's just completely laid bare the lie of America, which is that this is a country, we have never recovered from the Civil War. Black people are not accepted as we ought to be. The rich and powerful control the narrative, and things are not going to get better for us down here on the bottom because of that. Knowing that and living with that reality is enough for my depression to never go away. Being non-white in this unfair, white biased society and world is very depressing, and it's not getting any better. And I just hate how every time I look at the news, like, what's the latest thing? GOP may as well be a bunch of Nazis. That's probably what they are. Trying to put in, we have things that need to be done to the country, and here's these Republicans in Congress putting in a bill to bring the $500 bill back and put Trump's face on it. A rapist, a convicted felon, all the other stuff, and this is how heinous and low these people are. That depresses me, and it affects me directly. Some other stuff sitting out was that Snakefinger recently had a birthday, so I was showing some singles in the groups. Snakefinger, the man in the dark sedan. He was a very unique guitarist. I'm glad to say I got to meet him twice. Got to see him. I've told the story before. I saw him in concert in Lincoln. Gave him a copy of the Norman and the Rockwell single that I had. He signed my single, The Spot, that I have by him, and he asked me to sign my single by him. I also have this one, There's No Justice in Life. Snakefinger's Vestal Virgins. Then when I went to San Francisco to see the Mole Show being performed for the first time by the residents, I went for both nights at I forget the name of the theater, Kabuki Theater. The second night, I ran into Snakefinger on the intermission, and he remembered me. I mean, he really remembered me. You're the Norman fellow. Ah, it was fantastic. And we chatted for a little bit. If I had had a camera, I'd have a selfie. So that's what I can share musically. So let's see how today goes, and let's see what it takes to get my car running. I need a car. Another sad fact of racism and white privilege in America is that I live in a predominantly black, now it's predominantly Mexican and Asian. When I moved here 30 plus years ago, it was black. Now it's very mixed, and it's more brown than black. There are no stores within walking distance. It's a food desert. Is that what they call it? Done on purpose to poor neighborhoods. We used to have neighborhood stores where you could go and buy groceries. Nope. Not even in walking distance is there a grocery store here. I have to have a car. These are the little things where, and they're not little things, but it's like when racists and people who have never experienced, just how shitty racism is, they say, well, I don't know what you're talking about, you can just go down the list. And even when you list stuff like this, a lot of people don't want to see it. That reminds me, Jeff Morris, the leader of the band Scudder, who almost lost his life a few years ago to a heart attack and had a come to Jesus moment. He's a trumper. That's why he quit the band. He called me a few days ago, checking in on me. Seriously. Really wanting to know how I'm doing. No hidden agenda. It was a fantastic conversation. And it's the reality of humanity, which is we are set against each other by ideas. We are organically the same thing, one family of life. And I really enjoyed the conversation with Jeff, and we talked all the way into politics, and he admits it to me, Yeah, I got the white privilege. I do. But in some ways, the white privilege is kicking me in the ass even right now. And we talked about that, how he lives out in an exclusive neighborhood, and he can't even hardly afford to live there now. And Jeff is 73 now, and he had to go back to work. I could go on and on about injustice. So the arts save me, and my personal relationships with my family and my friends save me. Because the overall picture where things are run by 0.1% of people who have the stronghold on the power, they're not changing a damn thing for us down here. The Georgia Guidestones, you ever heard of that? I was just watching some other stuff, I forget what it was, but that came up. Down in Georgia, the big, it's like kind of like a Stonehenge, but it has this really ominous message on it about population control and just some real New World Order bullshit. I saw them literally when I was on tour with Kleeman. We were driving, I forget where we were going, but we were taking a route that was not the main highway, and we spotted either a sign or saw it in the distance that said, let's go there. So I've seen them with myself. It's really not a good thing. So let me try to end this up, because I'm feeling fine even after sharing all this stuff. See, I tell you I'm depressed, but I'm functional. I learned a long time ago how to just live and deal with things. So I don't feel sad. I don't feel depressed. I just know that I probably am. I hope the family is doing well. It sounds like my older sister Stephanie got new hours, better hours at her job. Is that right, Stephanie, when you see this? And all of you, I hope everyone is okay. And like I said, share with me, okay?